Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Because I can't see. So,
Nandini, have you started with the prayer?
Arnab will start, I guess.
Okay, let me begin. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine avatar varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagatgurum Padapadme Dvayo Shritva Pranamami Murmuhu Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapahari. Hand over to Vrindha, Nandini ma'am and Usha Ramani ma'am.
thank you so much, Arna. Welcome, everyone. Today, we are taking you on a journey to Dakshineswar, where Thakur dwelt, prayed, and transcended. So first, this is going to be in a narration mode, and we want you to listen and visualize the whole thing. And finally, at the end of the session, we'll give you some time when we can ask questions or discuss. But for want of time, we will be doing it in a story format, and we will leave the discussion to the end. Another thing is only Nandini ji has actually visited Dakshineswar. Usha and I have just got information, so which we hope to convey to you in an interesting manner. So let's start now. So the temple and the entire complex was the work of this lady you see here, who is Rani Rashmani. She was a daughter of a poor laborer and belonged to the Sudra caste. But when she was 11 years old, she was standing on the banks of the Ganges with her with her father, when a boat carrying a zamindar was passed by. He was Raj Chandra Das. He had already been married twice, and both his wives had died, and therefore he was totally not interested in marriage. But when he saw her, he went back to his father and told him that he was willing to marry this particular lady. So his father was very happy and arranged the marriage. So after marriage, she had 4 children, and she also assisted her husband. She was a very intelligent and capable lady who helped her husband in his business and in managing the estates. However, unfortunately, at the age of 44, he passed away. And when he died, immediately people thought that here is this widow, we can cheat her of her property. But they did not anticipate how clever and capable she was. She managed everything by herself and took some help from her son in law, Mathur Mohan, actually. And so then she was very strong, capable, and she was also a very devout person. And liked to help people, and she did a lot of charitable things. Because of this, although she was not a royalty by any means, people called her Rani. Let me tell you some of the stories about the things that she has done. Once, the Hooghly River used to be used in those days for fishing by the local fishermen. The British also used ferries to transport people and goods along the river. These fishing boats were coming in the way of the ferries. So, to stop them, the British decided to impose a fishing tax. These poor fishermen were very upset, and they ran to the Rani for help. She immediately set about a plan. She asked the British to lease her a certain portion of the river, and they unsuspectingly gave it to her. As soon as the papers were legalized, she had chains put across her portion of the river, and so that the ferries could not move in that portion. And then she asked the fishermen to fish there. Now the British was did not know what to do because they had given the land on lease and now their ferries could not run on the river. So they had no choice but to withdraw the tax and allow the fishermen to fish freely as before. Another episode was during the Durga Puja procession. The procession was going along and the British decided to stop it because it was very noisy. The Rani got very angry because they were stopping a religious event. She told them to just go ahead. For this, she was fined rupees 40, which was a very large amount in those days. When the people heard about it, they began a big protest. And the British once again had to give in and withdraw this fine. Another episode was when the Rani found that the British soldiers were harassing women working in the indigo plantations. She immediately sent her guards to arrest those men. And when the British heard this, they were very angry and they ransacked her palace. And they tried to force their way into her puja room. But she defended it bravely with her sword, just like Kalima. So these were the things. And besides this, she was also a great social reformer. She was worked against child marriage, polygamy, and did things to help wherever possible. She was also a great devotee of Goddess Kali. So one day, once she was planning to visit Banaras, but the night before her visit, she had a dream in which the goddess came to her and told her, please, you must build a temple for me on the Ganges near Kolkata. And if you do that, you install an idol, I will come and manifest myself there. And you must offer prayers and prasad in this temple. As soon as Rani heard this, she was very happy and went about trying to buy land. She finally got 20 acres of land from Mr. Hasti and an English gentleman. And this land also included a Muslim cemetery. She started building her temple, but then she had a problem because she was a Shudra. She could not offer prayers or prasad in the temple. In those days, only Brahmins could cook prasad. Others could offer, other castes, the higher caste that is, could offer flowers or fruit. But food could be done only by Brahmins. So she did not know what to do. And Kali Ma had told her that she should offer prasad in the temple. So then she consulted Ram Kumar, who was a very popular and devout priest who lived in Dakshineswar, in Kolkata. And Ram Kumar was actually the brother of Gadadhar. In the first session, you had heard that Gadadhar is no one other than our Thakur. So Thakur had left his village and come to Kolkata to learn to become a priest from his brother. So Ram Kumar, because he was a very learned man, came up with a solution. He told the Rani to gift the land. Excuse me, there's some disturbance. Could you please mute? Thank you. So she told the Rani to gift the land to a Brahmin. And that would make it possible for Brahmin priests to work in the temple and also to make prasad. So accordingly, the Rani did this and construction work began. Even before the construction was over, again the Rani had a dream. In this dream, the goddess Kali told her, please install me in the temple immediately. I am finding it very suffocating and hot in the box where you have kept me. And when they opened the box in which the image of Kali was kept, they found that she was actually sweating. So immediately arrangements were made for the inauguration of the temple. Now, the Rani had to get priests to work in the temple. There was a Brahmin called Mahesh who worked with her. So he asked his brother to work in the temple. Once he came and joined the temple, immediately other Brahmin priests were also willing to come and look after the various temples which were there in the Dakshineswar complex. However, the Rani wanted a very learned and devout person to look after the Kali temple. She was very particular about it. So once again, she approached Ram Kumar. So he said, okay, I will come and be the priest in the temple till you find somebody to replace me. So he came and started working in the temple. The inauguration was done in a very grand manner. Gadadhar also visited the temple for the inauguration, but he refused to have prasad. And he went back to Kolkata. And then he found that his brother continued to stay in Dakshineswar. This upset him a lot because he believed that his father Khudiram would never have allowed them to work for a Shudra. So the both brothers had a big argument about this. Normally, but at the same time, Gadadhar knew that his brother was a very good person and that he would, with great integrity, he would not work for somebody just for the money. So finally, they decided that they will draw lots in a vilva leaf, and whoever wins, that will be followed. So it happened that Ram Kumar won, and so Gadadhar agreed to live in Dakshineswar. Even then, he refused to have prasad. Then Gadadhar told him, his brother Ram Kumar told him, see, you have a lot of faith in the purification properties of the Ganges River. Why don't you wash the provisions in the Ganges River and then cook for yourself? So after that, Gadadhar started doing that and started living in Dakshineswar. However, within 1 year, Ram Kumar passed away. And after that, Gadadhar took over the Kali temple. Rani Rashmani also, unfortunately, lived only for 5 years and 9 months after the temple was built. But the day before she died, she decided, she knew she was going to die. And so she wrote a large part of land in Dimajpur, which is now in Bangladesh, for the maintenance of the temple in Dakshineswar. So all the money from that land would be used to maintain the Dakshineswar temple. So in this way, she ensured that the temple would run smooth. Now, let us now go forward, and Usha will show you the architecture of this beautiful temple complex.
Thank you, Vrindha. So here, we see the...
Sorry.
That went off.
No, Shai, just silence.
Yes. No problem. Yes. So here, in front of us, what do we see? We see the Dakshineswar temple as we see it now, right? And this Dakshineswar temple, it is located on the eastern bank of the Ganges River in Kolkata. And you see those spires there, the 9 spires. It is built in the typical Navaratna style, that is called as the Navaratna style, or the 9 spires, which is typically Bengali architecture at its best.
Usha, can you be bilingual, please?
Sorry?
Bilingual.
Yeah, I will do it later, in between. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So the next slide, please, Vrindha. तो हम लोगों में से काफी लोग गए होंगे ना इधर दक्षिणेश्वर को, तो इधर हमने एक लेआउट रखा है, ठीक है, टेम्पल का लेआउट है, और इस लेआउट में काफी बिल्डिंग दिख रहे हैं, और इधर टैंक्स हैं, ऑर्चर्ड्स है, and flowers के gardens हैं, सब हैं. And हम अभी एक के बाद एक सभी जो buildings दिख रहे हैं उसके बारे में हम डिटेल में देखेंगे. ठीक है. So onto the other side we see one image, image idol of Kali, isn't it? Yes. So this is the Kali, that is goddess Kali, that is there in the temple here, and this is the main deity. जो मुख्य मूर्ति जो है गर्भगृह में ये काली माँ का है. ओके. इधर काली माँ को ना भवतारिणी के रूप में देखा जाता है. It is called as भवतारिणी, and भवतारिणी means compassionate mother who liberates us from the material world. वो है भवतारिणी का meaning. So here the Kali is seen in the roop of Bhavatarini. Okay. And this goddess Kali that is shown here in this, it is actually standing on a image of idol of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva who is supine, that is लेटे हुए हैं. Okay. उनके ऊपर काली माँ खड़ी हुई है, and this is on the 1000 petal का lotus एक है. This whole thing is on a 1000 petal lotus here. Okay. So this is the main idol that is there in the temple, which is of goddess Kali. Next slide please, Vrindha. This ये जो है, ये है महादेव के temples है, Lord Shiva के temples जो हैं same complex में. Okay. And these Shiva temples जो हैं 12 हैं. There are 12 Shiva temples here which are divided into 2 sets of 6. एक सेट 6 के जो एक सेट ऑफ टेम्पल्स है एक साइड में है और दूसरे 6 दूसरे साइड में है. ओके. एंड ये जो है, ये जो शिवा टेम्पल्स हैं गंगा नदी के तट पे है. दैट इज ऑन वन साइड ऑफ द रिवर, दैट इज ऑन वन कॉर्नर which is near the river. These Shiva temples are there. Can you go to the next slide please, Vrindha? Vrindha is also pointing out to us with an arrow where these things are. Okay, so you can take a look and that outline layout that is there, where these whichever part that we are discussing here. Okay, right. So here you see that you see a ghat here. ये जो घाट है उसे हम चांदनी, इसको चांदनी घाट बोलते हैं. एंड जो स्टेप्स जो हैं इधर वो गंगा, ये चांदनी घाट से ये स्टेप से ऊपर जाएंगे तो एक वरांडा या एक कोर्टयार्ड जैसा आता है जिसे हम पोर्च कहते हैं. हाँ, ये पोर्च में ना एक्चुअली ये पोर्च जो है उससे जब भी हम नीचे आते हैं तभी ये घाट रहता है. एंड ये घाट में ना जब भी ठाकुर जब भी उधर रहते थे रोज उधर ये घाट चांदनी घाट में आके वो स्नान करते थे. Okay, so this is the picture of the Chandni Ghat which is there on one side of the temple. Yes, next slide please, Vrindha. So जब भी हम ये चांदनी घाट से जब भी ऊपर जाते हैं, and after the Chandni Ghat you have one courtyard, एक चौखट है, courtyard है. And ये चौखट जो courtyard है, here you have 2 temples. This is the Radha Kanta temple. So 2 temples है, एक राधा कांता मंदिर है और दूसरा काली मंदिर है. And दोनों temples they are facing each other. आमने सामने है दोनों temples. ये राधा कांता मंदिर राधा और कृष्णा का एक टेम्पल है, मंदिर है. ओके. एंड ये इधर राधा और कृष्णा की मूर्ति एक सिल्वर थ्रोन पे बैठी हुई दिखाई देती है मंदिर के अंदर. ओके. एंड ये जो राधा कांता मंदिर इट फेसेस द नॉर्थ, whereas the Kali temple which is opposite that faces the south. Actually they say that most temples are generally east facing, but here in Dakshineswar we have the main deity of the temple which is facing south, which is there in a few other temples also in India, but this is one of the few temples that we see this. Next please, Vrindha. Yes. So
Sumanna has to say something, Usha. We'll just hear her for a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, whenever we are just coming out of that, steps, after the steps finishes, वहाँ पे 12 Shiv Mandir है first. Like
Yes.
this picture, na?
That is, it is on either side of the, it is on either side of the Chandni, that courtyard.
Two part में
Yes.
six mandir है, and then
Yes.
that ghat comes down. So that is the reason. You said na courtyard से ही है, so that is the Shiv Mandir.
Yes. Thank you, Sumana. Because we haven't been there, no? So we have just seen what we have seen in the books. Thank you so much for the input.
Arnab is saying something.
Yes, Arnab.
The Radha Kanta temple, it faces the Ganga, west.
Ha. Okay. Right. Right. So here, no, we have this is called the Nat Mandir. Is it Nat Mandir? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Yes? Okay.
This first part is called Nat Mandir.
Yes, this part, which you were seeing here, no? Other side of the Kali temple, what is there is the Nat Mandir.
Nat Mandir.
Yes, okay. So this, ये जो नाट मंदिर है, ये actually इधर you can see उसके ऊपर नाट मंदिर के ऊपर ना महादेव, नंदी और भृंगी का एक मूर्ति जैसा बना हुआ है. एंड कहते हैं कि जब भी ठाकुर जब भी काली टेम्पल की तरफ जाते थे पूजा के लिए, हमेशा इधर रुक के महादेव को प्रणाम करके जाते थे. ओके. And idhar, a lot of theatrical performances take place in the Nat Mandir. And even now on Kali Puja days, etc., a lot of performances take place here. And history also says that it was here that Mathur Babu, who was the son-in-law of Rani Rashmani, he carried out a Dhanya Meru, that is Dhanya Meru, here at Thakur's instructions. And this was also one of the places where Thakur had a vision of Bhairavi, goddess Bhairavi, and this took place in front of a lot of people who were there in the Nat Mandir. Okay, so this is the Nat Mandir that is there inside the complex. Anybody would like to add anything here? Have I missed out anything? Yes, Debhuti?
One thing to add that
Chalo.
yes, Thakur took pranam to Bhairav ji before entering Ma Kali's mandir, as if he wants permission from Shiva that I am entering to Ma's temple. Please give me permission.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debhuti. Yes, so I'm so happy that with all the inputs that you are all giving us. Yes. So shall we go to the next slide, Vrindha? So this is the main courtyard. Okay, this is the main courtyard, and see, you can see the Shiva temples that are there on either side. So the two sides you have the Shiva temple there, and on other side we have rooms, where devotees जो मंदिर में आते हैं, pilgrims जो आते हैं, उनके लिए रहने की जगह भी दी गई हुई है. They can come and stay here, and उनके लिए भी सुविधा सब बनाई गई है, और थोड़ी और जो भी उनके लिए जो चाहिए वो सब के लिए सुविधा इत्यादि बनाई गई है इधर. Okay, this, and actually on another side of the Nath Mandir के दूसरी तरफ उधर बलि चढ़ाने की भी जगह है, ऐसे मैंने पढ़ा इसमें. Okay, and now just beyond the Shiva temples, I think we don't have that picture here. Just beyond the Shiva temples, we have the Nahabat Khana also. This Nahabat Khana is where Sharda Ma resided. They say that Sharda Ma udhar Nahabat Khana ke niche ek kamre mein rehti thi, and not Vrindha, this is not the one, Vrindha.
No, I'm showing in the map. Usha.
Yeah, I'm showing in the map. Yeah. So
Thakur's room.
yes. So Nahabat Khana mein is where, below that in one room, Sharda Ma used to stay. And it is said that, itna chota tha wo kamra jo rehte the, इतना छोटा था कि एक जन सोने के लिए उतना ही जगह था उसमें. So she stayed in such a room, and it was from there that she did seva for Thakur and worshipped Thakur, and worshipped Kalima and did seva for Thakur here, living in this room. Now, this picture that we see here, I'm sure all of you will be familiar with this, those who have been there. This is the room that Thakur used to live in. Okay, he used to say, जो ठाकुर जिस कमरे में निवास करते थे, वो रूम का ये एक पिक्चर है. ओके, एंड आप देख सकते हैं कि इट इज बीन प्रिजर्व्ड इन द सेम वे. नो, उनका जो बेड है एंड बाकी जो भी आर्टिफैक्ट्स हैं, ये रूम में अभी भी प्रिजर्व करके रखा है अभी भी. एंड ये जो रूम है, ये जो कमरा है, उसके बाहर एक वरांडा था. वो बरामदे में ठाकुर जी रहते, he used to sit there and look at the Ganges and sit. And beyond that, you had a lot of flower gardens, orchards beyond the veranda, and there was also a terrace which was facing the Ganges just outside the room. Okay. Next one, Vrindha, can I just 1 second, please? 2 minutes.
Yes. So a question to everyone, if I'm not aware, the Thakur's bed, is it right now when we go, the same cot, is it there, or has it been taken to the Belur Math Sangrahalaya? Anybody is aware? Nandini ma'am.
I think same bed. अभी
अच्छा.
और ज्यादा सामान था, लेकिन आजकल मैं इस बार जाके देखा बहुत सारे नहीं है. फोटोज भी थोड़ा हटा के बाहर रख दिया, ऐसे भी है.
हाँ, ये जो दीवार
लेकिन बेड सेम ही
थोड़ा
था.
बंद करके भी रख दिया. पहले मैं जब
पहले अंदर जाने देते थे, आजकल नहीं जाने देते.
एकदम बेड को टच किया. आई गॉट दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी, बट अभी वो डंडा लगा था खाली, तो हाथ लगाओ तो टच कर सकते थे. बट नाउ इट्स एकदम कंप्लीट फेंसिंग, पूरा बॉर्डर करके बंद कर दिया. आई थिंक
नहीं, अंदर जाने ही नहीं देते हैं.
हाँ, पूरा रूम को ही सील कर दिया अभी. राइट.
पहले अंदर बैठ के हम लोग जॉब भी किया था, जब अभी किया था, लेकिन आजकल नहीं.
रूम के अंदर जाके हम बैठे थे, छोटे में मैं बैठी.
Vrindha, you can put the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, so ये जो स्लाइड है, ये पंचवटी वन का है. And this was a sacred grove of five sacred trees were there in this grove. One was the bata tree, दूसरा जो था वो पीपल का था, एक नीम का था, आमलकी और बेल. ये जो 5 वृक्ष थे, ये they were there in this one. Okay, and इस वृक्षों की छांव में ही ठाकुर बैठते थे और उनकी उधर बैठ के साधना करते थे इधर. और ये जो एक आसन था जिसपे वो बैठते थे, एंड ये आसन को पंचमुंडी आसन बोलते हैं. ओके, व्हाई पंचमुंडी आसन? इट इज सेड दैट there were 5 skulls which were buried under the seat, under this asan, and he used to sit panchbati. Okay, panchbati asan. Okay, and panchbati is a one, or panchbati is a one? Is that right? Yes.
I mean,
Somebody type Panchbati here.
Here, this bell tree, Vilva tree, if you see, Vrindha ma'am, that is the Panchamundi Asan. That's what I've read. I might be wrong. Panchvati is the 5 trees.
Panchvati one is different. It's the Panchmundi Asan is not here.
No, it's the Vilva. I think
under the Vilva tree. Okay.
I think. Let me ask Prashant sir. Are you aware?
The Panchmundi Asana is in the behind. It's behind the Haspukur and all that.
This bell
tree is behind, absolutely the back of the establishment. Somewhere where you see where the that duck pond is there, and behind the duck pond.
Tank, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Behind
goose
the
tank,
Vilva tree. you
There's
can
only
see.
Vilva tree, and there are five mundis were there. 5 different animals' heads were put, including one
Heads were
human
there.
head as well there. And there was a Panchmundi ashram. It was separate,
Oh,
not
yes.
not with Panchavati. No.
Panchavati. Okay, thank you. So it was said that पंचमुंडी आसन पे बैठ के ठाकुर तपस्या करते थे उधर. And he had a lot of episodes of Thakur where he attained Siddhi, with the Holy Spirit of Goddess Kali. What happened when he was sitting on this Panchmundi Asan? Am I right?
It is different actually, whole thing. Panchmundi Asan was created by Bhairavi Mata.
Bhairavi Mata.
Bhairavi Ma came and she gave instruction to Thakur on the 64 tantras.
Okay.
So in those tantric principles he applied.
Yeah, I think Nandini will be covering later on.
Yes,
I'm just going with the main architecture of the temple.
When that sadhana he did, that was done at the Panchamundi asana.
Panchamundi, yeah. So sadhana, that is what I was saying.
She created those asanas.
Yeah. So
This,
that Nandini will be
the only other thing about, great thing about this place, which is the Panchavati, is that apparently it seems that this area was something which nobody cared for. And then one day, automatically, the logs came there, automatically the ropes came there.
Oh.
And one person then bound that whole place up. Then when somebody asked him that why he did that, he said it just came. But Thakur's grace it only came. So it was something which was providence provided for it.
Okay. Thank you, Prashanda. Yes. So then here also on one side of this Panchavati one is also एक कुटी था जहाँ ठाकुर रहते थे. And ये जो उधर बैठ के उन्होंने काफी तपस्या की और अभी जो ये कुटी जो है अभी I think now they have made it into one brick building now, and which is there for pilgrims to come there and see. So they made it into a proper structure with brick now. Okay. Yeah. Next slide, Vrindha. So this in the temple on one we also have a shrine for Rani Rashmati, Rashmuni, which Vrindha has spoke about her. No, so her shrine is also there in the complex, in the temple complex, on one side of the main. It is near the main temple of this Rani Rashmuni shrine is also there. Okay, so like this, there are many things that are there in the temple. Can we go to the layout, Vrindha? Yes. So see, from the layout, we can see that there are so many gardens. There's a goose tank. There are so many, there's a tank just for plate washing. And there are orchards and flower gardens. It's such a huge complex that is there that we are seeing. And of late, I think on July 16th, I think a temple was consecrated for Thakur here inside the complex, and it is now open to the public also. That is a recent addition that is there in the Dakshineswar Mandir now. Okay, so as we will be seeing that actually Dakshineswar, the temple has been home to a lot of Thakur's Leelas. Okay, and Nandini ma'am will take us through some of the Leelas that happened here in the temple. And before that, we also have some pictures of some of our resource person who have visited the temple, and they shared their pictures with us. So we thought that we would like to share that also with all of you here. Yes, over to Nandini. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Usha. Any questions from anybody? So to the two of them or to all of us? Otherwise, we move on. अभी हम जो है 30 साल का जो ठाकुर का वहां पर लाइफ था, 1855 approximately around 1855 to 1886, just a short while before he entered into Samadhi. I mean, I don't know what exact word you use. But 30 years, we are going to very briefly try to explain. I'm not even going to touch the parts with Ma, and I've just restricted to the 12 years of spiritual absorption practice that Thakur did in Dakshineswar. तो क्या हुआ जब उनके भाई का देहांत हो गया राम कुमार जी का, तो उनको, और उससे पहले उनके फादर का भी हुआ था, खुदीराम जी का, तो उनको एक बहुत द इम्परमानेंस ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड बहुत उनको स्ट्राइक किया कि क्या सब कुछ चला जाता है हमारे हाथ से। और इसको सोचते सोचते उनको लगा कि मुझे जो है कुछ ऐसा चीज ढूंढना है जो परमानेंट है। एंड ही रिजॉल्व टू हैव अ विजन ऑफ काली। काली मंदिर में तो थे ही, और उन्होंने तय कर लिया कि मैं जो है काली माँ का एक विजन जो है मुझे चाहिए। और इसके लिए उन्होंने बहुत साधना की, खाते नहीं थे, सोते नहीं थे, सारा टाइम जो है ये जो पंचवटी में अमलकी जो पेड़ है वहां रात रात भर में जाके बैठ के पूरे रात में मेडिटेशन करते थे। एक बार हृदय उनका जो नेहरू था वो उनके पीछे पीछे गया कि देखने की क्या कहाँ जा रहे रात के अंधेरे में इतने घने जंगल में। तो उनको समझ, तब उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं, अमलकी
कहाँ है?
आमला, पंचवटी में है जो आमला ट्री, आमलकी.
Okay, Amlaki. I don't know how I might be pronouncing it right, wrong. So he said that की scriptures में लिखा है कि अगर इसके नीचे हम मेडिटेट करते हैं तो हमें विजन मिलेगा। तो ऐसे ही बहुत प्रयास के बाद एक दिन क्या हुआ, जब वो मंदिर में थे, काली मंदिर में थे, तो क्या हुआ, उनको बहुत एक he was overwhelmed with the longing to see काली माँ। और दीवार पर एक स्वॉर्ड था जो उन्होंने हाथ में उठाया और अपने आप को मारने के लिए कोशिश, ये बोलते हुए कि अगर आप मुझे विजन नहीं दोगे अभी इस वक्त, मैं जो है इस छुरी इसको मैं चला लूंगा अपने शरीर पे। तो उसी टाइम क्या हुआ, द होल प्लेस वाज बेस्ड इन एन ओशन ऑफ लाइट and Thakur had the vision of Kali, and at that point of time he fell on the ground and he actually lost body consciousness. ये था उनका जो एक्सपीरियंस जो था। जब बाद में शायद स्वामी जी ने जब पूछा था have you seen God, that is when he actually said yes, I have seen her just like I see you. So probably that is where this connection came. एंड क्या हुआ, जैसे ही एक इवेंट हुआ उनके लाइफ में, उनको जो है बहुत मुश्किल लगता था नॉर्मल काम करने के लिए, और जो है माने एवरीथिंग बिकेम वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर हिम, नॉर्मल प्रीस्टहुड का जो काम करने के लिए, क्योंकि ही वाज filled with this vision and this intense love and devotion for Kali. एंड इस टाइम पे वो कुछ अलग अलग अजीब अजीब से हरकतें करते थे, क्योंकि जो माने हरकत इसलिए कहते हैं क्योंकि हम ट्रेडिशनली उसको जो है समझ नहीं पाते। जैसे काली माँ के लिए जो फूल था वो खुद अपने सर पे डाल देते थे। काली माँ के लिए भोग आता था तो वो क्या करते थे, भोग के लिए वो खुद चढ़ जाते थे इमेज पे और अपने हाथ से माँ को खिलाते थे, और ये भी बोलते थे कि आप खाओ थोड़ा, मैं भी खाता हूँ। ये सब जो बाकी प्रीस्ट थे उनको बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं था, और वो सोचते क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पर, और बहुत गुस्से में आ जाते थे। तो ये जो है कुछ ही लोग समझ पा रहे थे कि ये सब क्यों कर रहे हैं, और they were able to empathize with him. One of them of course was Mathur Babu. And Mathur Babu understood, because he himself had a vision of Thakur as a vision of him as Shiva and Kali. And so he thought it was his personal duty to actually protect Thakur and take care of all his needs. तो ये था उनका. हाँ, yes please, anyone wants to add? Okay, so क्या हुआ, एक और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग इवेंट हुआ एक बार. रानी जो हम रासमणी रानी जो है एक बार मंदिर में आई थी, शाम का वक्त था, आरती का टाइम था, और जो है ठाकुर बहुत सुंदर गा रहे थे. तो उस टाइम उन्होंने कुछ गाने बताए कि आप ये भी गाओ, ठाकुर को बताया रानी ने, तो वो गाने लगे. बीच में ठाकुर क्या हुआ, उठ के खड़े हो गए और रानी के पास गए और अपने हाथ से उनको एक दिया, एक स्लैप किया. तो उनकी जो बॉडीगार्ड्स थी बड़ी गुस्से में आ गई और वो लोग सीधे ठाकुर के पास गए टू प्रोटेक्ट देयर रानी. बट रानी ने कहा वेट, अभी रुक जाओ, कुछ नहीं करना, आप लोग वहीं रहो जहां पर आप खड़े हो. एंड रानी ठाकुर ने रानी को बोला, शर्म नहीं आती है यहाँ पर ये सब सोचते हो? तो what happened was Rani knew exactly what she was thinking, and she just felt ashamed, and because she was thinking of some court case from which she had come with the British, and so that was reoccupying her mind. इस घटना से जो है हम अलग अलग जो है इंटरप्रिटेशन कर सकते हैं. देखिए, रानी तो he slapped her actually, yes he did, and Rani was his employer, but what for him, what was important for him, he knew she was a great devotee and her mind was going somewhere at the time when she should be completely absorbed in the worship. एंड इसीलिए उन्होंने वो लिबर्टी लिया उनके साथ और उनको जो है एक झापड़ दे दिया. ये इंटरप्रिटेशन है मेरा. आई डोंट. तो एक और ऐसी ही बहुत सुंदर इवेंट है. माथुर बाबू ने, एज आई टोल्ड यू, उनको लगा कि मुझे प्रोटेक्ट भी करना है और उनके हर नीड्स को मुझे पूरा करना है. एक बहुत ही सुंदर शॉल लेके दिया. उस टाइम पे 1000 रुपए था वो शॉल, और शॉल पहन के बच्चे की तरह ठाकुर जो है ऊपर नीचे गए और 2-3 बार गए बहुत खुश होके कि अच्छा लग रहा है. फिर उनको पता नहीं क्या दिमाग में आया, अरे इस शॉल को मुझे क्या भगवान से भगवान के मैंने will it help me realize, I mean think of God, it is actually going to be an obstacle. मेरे अंदर गर्व आएगा, प्राइड आएगा और मैं एक्चुअली अपना टाइम वेस्ट करूंगा विदाउट थिंकिंग ऑफ गॉड. 1 मिनट उस शॉल को नीचे डाला, उसके ऊपर उन्होंने he started stepping on that shawl. He was almost going to burn it. कि जो है किसी ने बचा लिया और शॉल को बोला नहीं नहीं बहुत महंगा है, प्लीज उसको आप बर्न मत करो. तभी माथुर बाबू समझ गए कि आगे से जो है ठाकुर को ऐसे एक्सपेंसिव सामान उनको नहीं देना चाहिए. तो एक और छोटा सा इंसिडेंट जहाँ पर सॉरी उसको मैं छोड़ देती हूँ. तो अभी जो है हम आगे चलते हैं, मेरे पास तो कुछ भी टाइम नहीं है. चलिए, तो 2 चीजें मैं थोड़ा सा हाईलाइट, 3 चीजें मैं हाईलाइट करूंगी ठाकुर के इस स्पेस का. एक तो था कि वो जो है 1 मिनट, एक था कि उन्होंने जो है he was when he actually started 1 minute. अम्मा ना अपना फोन पढ़ रहे माँ. sorry girl. So that was my mother. Okay. And so what happened is that 3 things that I said I wanted to point out. One is that he practiced every faith. That is, he practiced Islam, he practiced Christianity, and it was not about the actual, just understanding it intellectually. उनका जो साधना था वो एक्चुअली इट वाज एक्सपीरियंसिंग दीज रिलीजन्स. और जब उन्होंने एक्सपीरियंस किया तभी तो जाके उन्होंने बोला कि सब जो पाथ्स हैं they lead you to the same place. And Arnab, if you'll help me give the Bengali statement for that, that will be nice.
Jatamat tatpat.
Yeah. So that came from actual experience and not from intellectual understanding. Thakur always focused on actually the process of the experience or the realization rather than just understanding. So this was one thing that he did. He was able to, actually he got a Sufi saint who helped him. He used to say, he used to wear clothes like a devout Muslim. He used to do the namaz 5 times. Similarly, for the Christian ways, he adopted all the ways and practiced these things to actually arrive at that understanding, that conclusion. So that is one thing which he did. And then the other thing which he did was he lived the experience of the bhavas of various, there are different bhavas which are there in the scriptures. There is actually the dasya bhava. He lived, that is the attitude of a servant. He lived through Hanumanji's, he lived like Hanuman. And actually, when he was in this phase of his life, he used to live on the trees, eat fruit from the tree. And then, in fact, they say that even he grew, his tailbone actually took a curve and it became like a tail. So that was the kind of experience Thakur had. Then he lived the Vatsalya Bhav, of course, later on when Chakadri came with Ram Lala. He actually experienced the Vatsalya Bhav. Then there was the Madhur Bhav, which he also experienced. Actually, he dressed up like a woman and lived in the ladies' quarters of Mathur Babu's house. And he experienced how Sri Radha felt. That was the Madhur Bhava. And then, of course, he had the Matri Bhava, or the worship, the love for the mother. And this, of course, he had with Kalima in the temple. And he also had the same feeling with Bhairavi Brahmani later on, where he thought she was Yashoda and he was the baby Krishna. So these are the bhavas that he lived. I can only rush through them, but each one is worth thinking about. And Thakur actually experienced these bhavas one by one in his life during this period in Dakshineswar. There were a number of visitors who came to Dakshineswar. And so let's talk about each one of them very, very briefly. So we have first the Bhairavi Brahmani who came. And she was a very बहुत young lady थी, 30-35 साल की. बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग इंसिडेंट है इनके बारे में भी. जब वो आई थी, बोट से आई थी ऑन द गैंजेस, और ठाकुर वहीं बैठे हुए थे किनारे पे. और उनको देख के उन्होंने तुरंत अपने रूम में गए और जो है उनके नेव्यू को बोला कि भाई उसको जाके बुलाओ मेरे कमरे में. मैं कैसे बुला सकता हूँ, कोई आया है अभी, आप ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हो. But the boy went reluctantly and he went and told her that my uncle is calling you. And lo and behold, she said, yes, I will come with you. And she accompanied him. So these are all events that one cannot even understand unless we look at it from a very, very, a level of, it's all providence and how things are, manifest in the divine play. So this Bhairavi Brahmani was she was into Tantra, and as Kasunda just said, she had come to actually expose Thakur to the Tantric ways. And जहाँ पर उन्होंने 2 और लोगों से भी माने यही काम किया था. एक था चंद्रा और दूसरे थे गिरिजा, और वो बगल वाले डिस्ट्रिक्ट में मिले थे और उनको भी लेके आई थी शायद, या बाद में वो आए. ठाकुर का एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट जो हमको वो मिलता है, तो he was always very particular that we should not confuse जो psychic powers हैं और जो हमारे mystic powers हैं, वो जो है hindrance है, वो रुकावट करती हैं हमारे God realization में और हमें गर्व देती हैं. इसलिए उनको अलग उनको जो है हमें वी शुड नॉट लेट देम ग्रो करके हमेशा वो ठाकुर बोलते थे। इसमें 2 कहानी बताते थे, मुझे बहुत अच्छे लगे, इसलिए मैं शेयर करूंगी आप लोगों के साथ। तो 2 भाई थे और एक भाई जो था वो बना था मंक, और दूसरा भाई जो था हाउस होल्डर था। और जो है कई साल बीत गए, दोनों भाई जो है अपने अपने रास्ते में जीवन जीने लगे थे। और 12 साल बाद ये जो मंक भाई है वो आए अपने छोटे भाई के पास, और उन्होंने बोला कि देखो मैं आया हूँ 12 साल के बाद, देखो मैं जो है तुम ऐसे ही हो जैसे मैंने छोड़ा था, तुमको क्या मिला है ऐसे जीवन जीने में, मेरा देखो कैसे मैंने जो है अचीव किया है। तो बोला भाई बताओ तुमने क्या अचीव किया है। तो ठाकुर ने बोला तो इन्होंने जो दूसरा भाई है उसने बोला कि चलो लेट शो मी व्हाट यू हैव टू शो। And then they went to the river nearby, and this monk brother walked on the river. Okay, तो इस भाई ने क्या किया, बोट में बैठे और जो है नदी एक बार में पार किया और 1 आना पैसा उसके लिए दिया। ठीक है, 1 आना, और अपने भाई को बोला तुमने 12 साल में जो है जो अचीव किया है वो मैंने 1 आना देख के जो है अचीव कर लिया है। तो हमेशा that is what Thakur used to say, don't waste your time in mystical and psychic developing these powers, because they actually distract you from your realization of God. एक और ऐसी ही कहानी एक योगी का था जहां पर वो बोलते थे कि मेरे पास इतना पावर है कि मैं हाथी को भी बोलूं कि मरो तो वो मरेगा, जगो तो उठो तो वो उठेगा। तो जो दूसरा कोई नॉर्मल लेप मैन था, ठीक है, तुमने तो हाथी को तो मार दिया और हाथी को जगा भी दिया, लाइफ भी दे दिया, अच्छा इससे तुमको क्या मिला है, पूछा उस नॉर्मल ह्यूमन सिंपल ह्यूमन बीइंग ने। तो उसने बोला व्हाट हैव यू गॉट, ओहो यस व्हाट हैव आई गॉट फ्रॉम दिस करके वो योगी सोचने लगा, क्या हैज इट सॉल्व्ड योर प्रॉब्लम्स of old age, death, your understanding of life? Then the person said, you are very right, these powers don't take you anywhere. These 2 stories Thakur used to narrate to say that let us focus on this thing, mystical powers. So this is about Bhairavi Brahmani. Actually at this time Thakur suffered a lot of very many bodily, his body used to burn, and sometimes he used to have such intense hunger, and all these Bhairavi Brahmani was able to solve because she went into the scriptures and actually found out that this was normal for people who had attained God, had attained realization, and she found very simple solutions to deal with these problems. That's about Bhairavi Brahmani. The next person who came, I'm not telling you in the sequence, but I'm just telling you about next person was Totapuri. See, Thakur got exposed to the various aspects of, various spiritual aspects. Like, for example, this Totapuri was actually a Kattar Advaitin. He believed only in one thing, and that was that there is no two. There is only one, and that is we are Brahman. So this person actually had come from Punjab, and he first, of course, again a very cute incident. When he came in, he first saw Thakur, and he said, as soon as he saw him, he knew he was a right candidate for him to, give his, preachings. And he told him, will you be willing to be initiated by me? So Thakur said, no, let me find out from my mother. And Totapuri thought that it was actually his physical mother or his human mother, but actually he meant that he was going to check with Ma Kali in the temple and ask her permission. And then he comes back and tells her that, oh yes, of course, my Ma has said that you should do it, and he has come for you. Okay, so this was what Thakur told Totapuri, and Totapuri initiated him. It was not easy for Thakur because of his intense devotion. He was not able to, remove the image of Kali, and that used to frustrate the Totapuri because there are no twos in the case of the Advaitic concept. But what really, I will not go again to many stories that so appeal to me, but one last thing that, Totapuri, actually, these are wandering monks, okay, and they live in a place only for 3 days. But what actually happened with Totapuri is that he lived for a very long time in Dakshineshwar, and because the food and all didn't suit him, he got a severe stomach ailment, and he was used to be in intense pain in the stomach because of this stomach ailment. And one day what happened, he wanted to end his life, and he told, he just ran into the river and hoping that he will drown and he won't come back. Because of that intense pain, he said, what is the use of this body if it cannot meditate? And so then what happened is that he jumped into the river, but what happened, he did not drown. On the contrary, he got a vision of Kalima, and he actually felt that, she doesn't want me to give up my life. And the next day, he actually met Thakur in the morning, and together they went to the Kalima's temple. That was the first time Totapuri entered the temple. Otherwise, being an Advaitin, he was not at all willing to enter the temple, and he went and prayed to the, Kalima. And on that day itself, he left Dakshineshwar and disappeared forever. So this is about Totapuri. And then there was 2 people. It was Bhairavi Brahmani who actually announced to the world that, Thakur is not just any God realized person. He's an avatar. And it was she who organized a big conference in which, she invited people. And in that context, 2 people came. One was Vaishnav Charan, and the other was Vaishnav Charan and Gauri. And it was these people who also then agreed with Bhairavi, and Vaishnav Charan himself. The moment he saw Thakur, he actually went to, he bowed down to his feet, and this led to, Thakur going into an ecstatic state, because he realized that he was also a very evolved soul, and he actually climbed on to the shoulder of Vaishnav Charan, and Vaishnav Charan composed a poem or a hymn on the Thakur at that stage, and this was a very interesting thing. And the other person who was again a tantric, Gauri, he said that if Vaishnav Charan accepts that he is an avatar, I do not even question that. And so Thakur was this thing. Of course, in all this, very beautifully, when the whole thing was happening, Thakur was sitting there very sweetly like a young child, and, looking at the deliberations. He didn't even realize that it was all about him that they were talking. And like a childlike, with childlike innocence, was watching this great debate that was happening. And he said, Acha, they're talking about me. I'm so glad. It was like that. I can't even explain those things that he did. Then, of course, came Jatadhari. Jatadhari was the one who had realized, have a vision of Rama, and he carried with him Ram Lalla as a small, image. And actually, he used to, that image was not just an image; it was a living presence. And he used to actually cook for that child, and he used to feed that child. And then a very interesting episode, things that happened was that child became, and even as Thakur was seeing that happen, that idol or that the living presence of the Ram Lalla actually he became as attached to Thakur, and for some time Patadhari was a little angry that he's going to him and not coming to me. But then at the end, he actually tells Thakur that you keep this Ram Lalla, you are the right person to take care of him, and I will go on my way away from Dakshineshwar. So these are some of the events that happened in Dakshineshwar. As I said, it's the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much to discuss, but then I think we have to stop for lack of time. I hope I was able to convey whatever I wanted to in a brief manner. My source, I don't know, I used Christopher Isherwood's version of the, to actually narrate whatever this thing, because I thought he had very well researched the whole thing, and he had actually spent 6 years researching on it. So I used that as my source.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, please. Please. You want to open any discussion?
Oh no, the tip of the iceberg was a beautiful thing, because next week Ramakrishna as a sadhaka, I think the topic will be taken up. So yeah, so it's a precursor to what Nandini ma'am has said. So Vrindha ma'am, I think we can close. Would you like to take some questions from somebody, or if somebody have questions, else we can close with Pranam Mantra. Vrindha ma'am, up.
Break into more small parts, Arnav. Otherwise, we can't do justice to them.
Could you please repeat?
I said you'll have to break your topics into smaller parts.
Okay.
Okay. You can take.
I have a question, please.
Yes, please.
I wanted to know from all three of you, as you were reading this, did you feel a sense of elevation? Did you feel in some way lifted up? Did you feel that this whole experience was worth it?
100%.
Would you like to thank Arnab for that?
Yes,
Arnab,
surely.
thank you very much. And thanks to everyone for coming and attending so patiently. And also thanks to Nandini ji for guiding us through this, because Usha and I did not know where to start or end. And so she was the one who kind of gave us a kind path to work on.
I know, and after doing this, me and Vrindha have decided we have to go and see Dakshineshwar.
Yes. And as you all said that all those rooms have been barricaded and we cannot go in there at all. I went to Dakshineshwar only the year before last, but it was beautiful. And even whatever you see is enough. Doesn't matter.
You can't go to the Panchavati side also.
Yeah, you can't go there. That's also locked. Yes, absolutely.
And I think new setup of.
But we can see, ना बाहर से देख सकते हैं.
New mandir, I think now come up, na?
Yes.
Arnav can say, I think better.
Yes.
Because they are there.
Dakshineshwar Mott has Dakshineshwar Mandir.
No, that's a mutt that was been created. That is outside the temple complex.
Outside the temple.
Yes.
Nearby.
As you exit in the backside of it, just outside the backside, there is a mutt.
Yeah. It has a terracotta this thing of Thakur, right? On top.
Yeah, because it's a proper Ramakrishna mission.
Yeah.
Proper Ramakrishna mutt is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we'll visit and share.
Wonderful.
So I guess no more questions. Anu ma'am, thank you for the lovely note taken.
Avantika Mehra says she was there in Dakshineshwar last week. Wow.
Acha, she's in India.
No.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm in India,
yes.
and last week I was there, and whatever was discussed, I went and saw all that. So seeing it on screen, it was I was reliving. I went here, I saw this, I was seeing the map, and I was seeing that okay, I've tick done all that. So it was really nice, and it was a very big puja that day. That was
Avatars ne. No.
Uh,
It must be
Ratha
no,
Yatra.
some Vipta
Ratha
Tarini,
Jatra, Ratha
Vipat
Jatra.
Tarini, yes, Vipat Tarini puja.
Yes.
It was very nice Saturday. Thank you so much. It was really beautifully explained.
Thank you.
So thanking Vrindha ma'am, Nandini ma'am, and Usha Ramani ma'am. It appeared that a lot of research had to be put in. So thank you for that. We would request more such efforts because it's just the beginning, we feel. So let's hope God bless us all. With this, Raji ma'am, I would like you to offer the Mother's Pranam Mantra and let's close it.
जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रुत्वा प्रणमामि गुरुम्। शान्ति शान्ति।
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.